Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. It is back to school time, and everyone is gearing up and ready to go. We're here this morning at East Lawrence Primary, meeting some of their amazing teachers. We've got some new ones that have transitioned here to the Lawrence County School System. We've got some who've been here their entire teaching career. We're going to let them introduce themselves to you, share a little bit about themselves and their excitement, of course, of getting ready to start the new year and to welcome your children here. We'll start to my left. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm great.
Share with us, please.
I'm Nikki Bellflower, and I'll be teaching second grade here at East Lawrence Primary. This is my 12th year teaching, but I am new to the Lawrence County school system. I have been with the Dublin City Schools for my first 11 years of teaching. I love teaching. I love this grade level. I love the primary kids, and I'm just excited to be here. Going to be teaching reading and ELA. So I'm excited to get the kids excited about reading.
Well, we're excited to have you. I know you did great things over there with Miss Fluker in Dublin City, and we're glad to have you here, part of the family. You know, you've got your room already together. I mean, it's beautiful in here. I mean, you've been kind of preparing yourself, of course. You've been doing this for a long time, but there's still a preparation to get ready for the new year. What do you do to kind of get ready internally as well as the external?
Well, internally, I just have to tell myself, this is kind of a learning year. We're all learning together, and the kids, they bring so much joy and excitement already at open house, just meeting them, and they're excited to start. And so I think that really helps us as teachers just get that motivation and get ready for them to come.
All right. Well, you're raring to go. Dr. Baker. Here we go again. Good morning.
Good morning.
Talk to us.
I'm Rhonda Baker, Dr. Rhonda Baker. I have been with East Lawrence Primary Schools, the primary school, since it was established in 2004. I began my teaching in 2000 down at the elementary school, which was the primary at that time. So I have been teaching 19 years. I have 11 years of a kindergarten background and 8 years of second grade background. And this year I will be branching out into what is called the interventionist position, where I'll be giving some extra support, reading and math support to students.
That's good, because think about it, Dr. Baker. So many kids, learn differently.
Right.
And it's sometimes more difficult for others to adapt. And so you're the right person for them to come to, to really help them, to give them that extra push that they need.
Right, thank you. Yes.
And
I'm looking
ladies,
forward to that.
absolutely. And so the years that you all have in teaching, in education, is nothing to just kind of brush over, because a lot of times teachers, it gets a little hard on this road. And so let us know, what motivates you to keep pushing and to keep doing what you do.
I think just coming to work every day and just seeing the light bulb go off in that little brain, you can just tell that something you've been trying to teach them just clicks all of a sudden, and it's just the greatest moment ever, and they're excited. I got it, Miss Bellflower, and it's just such a sense of accomplishment, and that's why we do this.
I love that. Dr. Baker?
I agree with what she said. Just hearing the kids say, "Oh, I got it, I understand now." I mean, that's just it just blesses my heart. And then also, as I've been teaching, I have grown to know my kids beyond whatever the grade level was I've taught them. And whenever I have them come up to me away from school, "Hey, Miss Baker," and the things they come back and tell me, and when I see what they've become the older they get. I've got some that have already graduated and some that are, fixing to graduate college, and to hear their stories about what they're going to be in their adult life, that's what it's all about.
And look at the lives that you're touching. Teachers transform lives, one person, one student at a time. And it's like a job as an educator is outside of these four corner walls of a classroom. You're still an educator when they see you in the grocery store, when they see you at a restaurant. You're still teachers, and that's such a beautiful feeling to kind of see that satisfaction of the kids when they go on to bigger and better things. To know that. What encouraging words do you want to give to the students starting out this year? Because a lot of them, like we say, are ready to get back, or some are kind of dragging their feet.
Right, that's very true. I would just say, just come as you are. We're going to love you. We're going to get you where you need to be, and just come and let the jitters, go away. And this is like Home sweet classroom.
Yes, it is. Home sweet classroom. Dr. Baker, give a message to the parents out there because they're entrusting their children in your care. Give a
Okay.
message to them.
Well, I'll tell them like I've always told the parents that were of my homeroom children, your baby is my baby. When they're here, I'll treat them like they were my own. I love them. We're going to all love them. We love them together like a big East Lawrence Primary family does. And we're just looking forward to a great year and fixing to get this ball rolling. So just send them on to us tomorrow morning.
Send them on to us. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dr. Rhonda Baker and Mrs. Bellflower. We are just venturing down the halls of East Lawrence Primary, just trying to see who's eager and willing to share with us today. We've got the beautiful Miss Owen with us here, and Gerald. What's up, Gerald?
How you doing?
Doing very well. They're here. They're going to talk about themselves a little bit. I know. Share with us a little bit about your journey, if you would, into education and how your first year went last year.
Well, my first year was great. I taught first grade last year here at ELP, and I'm starting my second year, and I'm going to be teaching second grade this year. We're team teaching, so I'll be teaching literacy.
That's going to be nice. Now, what made you decide to just transition from the medical field to education?
I've always wanted to be a teacher, but my boys were in school, so I waited until they were grown and left home, and I went back to school, and here I am.
Here you are. This is like a second life for you. You're just
Yes.
kind of being rejuvenated.
Yes.
And you know, to come into the classroom, knowing as a mother, how do you actually run your classroom? Because I know that it gives you such a nurturing nature anyway, how you are. How do you run this classroom day to day?
Just with love and just love on the kids and teach them, read with them, just instruct them
Just like you do your own.
every day.
So sweet, so sweet. Gerald, now please share with the people about you and tell us about how you started in this position and how it's been for you for the past 5 years.
Well, I've been doing this for about 5 years now at East Lawrence Primary. I don't know. I've always been a big cleaner.
Yeah.
Especially at home, so I kind of like this job. You know what I mean?
Cleanliness is next to
Oh,
godliness.
it's very much so. But I love the job. I love working with the kids and seeing them every day, helping them to do what they need to do each day.
Absolutely.
And keeping the school clean.
And you know, this is such a big job to keep a school clean. You've got a team of 4. There's 4 of you, right?
That's right. That's
And
right.
so, I mean, we don't even think about it. We just expect toilet tissue to be in a bathroom.
That's right.
We just expect so many things to be done. And so you all have to prepare to get this school ready
That's
for
right.
the new year, right?
That's right, exactly. We do. We actually have to clean the hallways, get them done, get them waxed and cleaned, get the bathrooms ready for these kids, get the cafeteria done, get all this stuff done for them, the front yards and everything. So,
Every time we come here to East Lawrence Primary, it's always in shop shape.
yes, we have to do that.
And so we thank you for all the work that you do.
You're welcome.
And you know, we want you all to kind of you give a message to those students that are coming in to see you, some for the very first time. You know, what do you want them to know about you, and to kind of make them feel as though they're in their home away from home?
I want them to know that I'm here for them every day and that we're going to have fun in our classroom, but we're going to learn, and we're going to do a lot of reading this year.
Very good. And now, Gerald, you give a message to those kids because even though you have a job that you do, it's still a responsibility of the kids to do their best to keep this school clean.
That's right.
What message you want them to know?
The kids? Yes. I want them to come in and be very clean, for one, but to learn.
Yeah.
Come in here and learn, listen to your teacher and the rest of the crew here, and do your very best.
Very good.
Yes.
Thank you so much for
You're
the many
welcome.
years that you've put into being here at East Lawrence Primary. And thank you. You have such a sweetheart, and you can tell in the way that you're even interviewing here. Bless your heart. But every child is going to be very fortunate to have you as their teacher.
Thank you.
Thank you both very much.
Find your new Chevrolet and get award-winning dependability only at Dublin Chevrolet.
Get employee pricing on all remaining 2018 Silverado models with total savings of over $12,000. These 2018 Silverados won't last, so act now while they're still in stock. If a car is more your style, get over $4,500 in total savings on the 2019 Malibu LS.
Call, click, or come see us. Dublin Chevrolet, the only dealer you will ever need.
Hi, I'm Helen Powell. Been serving the Middle Georgia area since 1985. If you would love an exciting career, please call me. Careers in Cosmetology, 129 North Franklin Street, 272-1967.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm an upcoming graduate from Careers of Cosmetology. It's been a wonderful experience, and I encourage you to contact Ms. Helen Powell for more opportunities.
Hello, I'm Christy at Careers of Cosmetology. I've recently enrolled here and I'm excited about the opportunities that lie ahead.
Hey, my name is Daphne Jackson. I'm excited to be enrolled in Careers in Cosmetology. If you would like this opportunity, contact Careers in Cosmetology.
Hi, my name's Caitlin. I've been enrolled in Careers in Cosmetology for about 4 months now. I'm really enjoying it, and I think if this is the career for you, you should definitely come see Miss Helen Powell.
Careers in Cosmetology, 129 North Franklin Street. Our number is 272-1967. Give me a call.
We are definitely making our rounds here. We've got the lovely Miss Wendy Slade here. We're at East Lawrence Elementary, meeting some of the teachers and the workers here within the school system and just kind of letting them share about themselves and getting ready for this new year. Now, Miss Slade, you've been on this road for a very long time.
Long time, long time.
Talk to us about your journey, where you started out and then where you are now.
Okay, well, I started out at Dublin City, and I taught there for 10 years and moved to the county, and I was at Northwest Lawrence Elementary for 17 years, and then I've spent my last 3 years here. I will retire at the end of this year.
Oh my gosh.
My 30th year.
That is such a blessing and such a long and lovely journey. You know, when you talk about educators who are just starting out, how did you start out? How were you when you first started?
Very nervous, very excited. Just knew that I was going to change the world. But I still feel that way.
Yeah,
You know, even
yeah.
today, I still, every day, I go into the classroom thinking, okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to make that difference
I'm
today.
going to change the
Yes,
world,
yes.
and you're doing so. You know, how have you evolved? Because I think that when you first start as an educator, you're very gung-ho. You have all these bright ideas that you're going to do in changing the world. Which ways have you had to evolve in your own persona to be the great teacher you are today?
Well, you just you become a problem solver because you know the problems that come into the classroom change over the years, you know, and you realize that the way you were doing it last year doesn't always work with the kids you have this year. And so that's what makes actually my job fun, because you can never teach the same way each year because the children are different. So each year you have to change the way that you're doing things to meet the needs of the kids that you have today. So
That's so
it's
good.
exciting.
That's so good. And your teaching style.
Yes.
So when they come into school here, first day of school, I mean, they're going to have a certain expectation. What do you do to kind of get the kids ready, to get them kind of comfortable with being with you in your class?
Well, first thing you do is you hug them. I mean, as soon as they walk in the door, you hug them. You let them know that you love them and that you expect the best from them, but that you're going to support them. That you're providing a safe place for them to experiment and to make mistakes. And that it's okay, because that's how you learn. You know, it's okay to not get all the answers right. You know, that's how we grow, and that we're here together. We're a community to support each other and to be the best that we can be.
I love that, Mrs. Slade. I love that. And you know, have you noticed how kids sometimes have to learn differently? So do you have to make those adjustments yourself?
Oh, yes. Each and every one of them learn differently. So you have to figure out which way does this one learn best, which way does this one learn best, and then to have them all accept each other too, and the differences, and to help each other. You know, your strengths may be their weaknesses. Let's help each other.
I love that. So your classroom is a bit of that community learning where you're helping one another, lift one another up. Could you help some teachers out there? There's a lot of new teachers, you know, and I think that they're nervous about starting the new year. And you remember that time. What words do you want to say to kind of encourage them, for one, to make it through the day, and to encourage them to continue to pushing?
Same thing. Don't be afraid to try. And don't be afraid to make a mistake. Those kids are going to love you anyway. They will, especially if you own up and go, oh my goodness, I just made a mistake. You know, and that's okay. and try it again and let the kids know, I just made a mistake. They like to know that it's okay, that you make a mistake too, and recognize it and go, I'm going to try it a different way so that they know that really it's okay. And the
That's
kids
good.
like that.
So you're showing that human side of being that educator. Now here we go. After this year, Mrs. Slade, oh my gosh, you're turning in your chalkboard or
Yeah, the whiteboard.
Your
and that
whiteboard.
has changed over the years. Yes.
And so, what do you want people to know about you in those 30 plus years of you as an educator? What do you want them to have as a takeaway about you?
That I gave them everything that I could. Each and every year, I hope, and I always tell my kids, if you've ever been in my class, once a Slade baby, always a Slade baby, because once they're in my classroom, I look at them as mine, and I give them everything I've got, just like I do my babies at home.
Yes.
Because I want them to be successful and succeed in life. And
I love that. Well, we thank you so much. We're glad to have you back this last year. Thank you for treating my baby like a Slade baby whenever she comes to visit. And thank you for how you pour your heart and soul into what you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Miss Wendy Slade. All right, now we've got Miss Shelby Hill that's allowing us to come in and chat with her. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing very well. Tell us a little bit about your journey, if you will, and your family.
I've been teaching 4th grade for 4 years now at East Lawrence Elementary. I started my career here and still continuing it here. My husband is Chuck Hill. He works at West Lawrence High School as the boys basketball coach and the girls volleyball coach. And we have a little girl who will be 2 in October.
How sweet. And what's her name?
Her name is Anna Charles.
How sweet is that? And you know, Ms. Hill, when you're talking about, you know, we shared a little bit before the camera came on about you always wanted to be a teacher. What makes you a good teacher?
Well, I saw my mom. My mom's a teacher and has been, this is her 30th year. And so seeing her in her classroom has always kind of motivated me. But a good teacher, I think, serves the children well. You always put the students' needs before your own. And so always keeping that in the front of your mind and in your mindset, I think, will motivate you to do the right things.
I love that, how you're following in your mom's footsteps. Please tell us who your mom is and where she is in education.
My mother is Janet Baggett. She teaches at Northwest Lawrence Elementary, and she is starting her 30th year of teaching.
Look at that, all those years, and now here she is to watch you, her daughter. What does she say about you?
She says, good luck.
And you know, and it's true, because I think that you have to forge your own path, and the relationship that you have with your students is your own. But the good thing is that you've had a great role model here with you. And now, so what style of teaching do you have? Because the kids, when they come in, they're going to be all over the place initially. So you've got to kind of rein them in and get them to kind of get ready for what's to lie ahead. What do you do?
We really like, as a team, to be really interactive in our learning. We do a lot of small group learning to where the kids are participating with each other. They get to talk to each other about their learning. And we do just a lot of project-based learning, hands-on, interactive things. We're not just sitting in the desk all day staring at me. So
that's good.
We really like to hear from the students.
So you bring a lot of excitement.
We hope to.
We bring a lot of excitement here. And so the kids are going to come in. You also have to think about those parents. What do you want the parents to know about you, because they're entrusting their children to be with you?
Oh, yeah. And we like to get lots of input from parents, because as a new parent, I do know that that is super important. And this is somebody's child. And so we really want them to know that we are putting their best interest at heart. First off, their safety, and just really getting to know them, getting to know their families, and really using that to our advantage, bringing parents in, getting their input on their child's education.
We love that. So we thank you so much for being here. Glad to have your whole family a part of Team Lawrence. And thank you so much for sharing with us. And we look forward to seeing the great year to come for you.
All right. Thank you so much.
This is Mrs. Hill, ladies and gentlemen.
Portions of this program are brought to you by Fairview Park Hospital, a leader in healthcare for Dublin Lawrence and surrounding communities, providing specialty services through facilities such as our Sleep Center, Heart Center, and Women's Imaging Center.
Hello, I'm Joyce Taylor, bookkeeper for Premier Properties.
Hello, I'm Dan Coxwell, property manager for Premier Properties.
Hey, I'm George Best, realtor for Premier Properties of Dublin. Hi, I'm Edie Webb, Realtor with Premier Properties of Dublin.
Hi, I'm Michaela Rowland, Realtor with Premier Properties of Dublin.
Hi, I'm R.C. Weinhold, Realtor with Premier Properties of Dublin.
Hi, I'm Phil Best, qualifying broker for Premier Properties of Dublin. We know you have a choice when you do real estate business in Dublin, and we appreciate you choosing us. Give us an opportunity to show you that we live by our motto, service is our culture.
We're just definitely making our rounds here at East Lawrence Elementary, and it has been such a great journey. We've brought around full circle Melissa Smith. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Listen, talk to us. Now, we want you to kind of tell us about your journey, which has led you to here for how many years now?
This is my 20th year teaching.
Okay.
And I started off in Metter for 3 years at the middle school. Came here for 3 more years, taught learning disabilities and behavior disorders for 3 years. Went to Henry County for 1 year, taught kindergarten. Was not my cup of tea. Came right back to East Lawrence Elementary where I felt at home. Felt at home, and I've been here ever since then.
Wow. And and I think that a lot of people take those journeys where they try different grade levels, and they know what works for them.
Right.
And so you're now finally in your niche.
I feel like I am, for sure. I've been in ELA for, well, pretty much my entire educational journey, for sure. But social studies was added in for me about maybe 4 years ago, and I've actually grown to love it as well.
That's good. And speaking of growing, how have you changed as an educator from when you first started out, a brand new teacher, still wet behind the ears, and then to where you are now?
Well, I think a lot of it kind of changed too when I became a mother. You know, you kind of just redo things a whole lot differently. Even though you love and you care for the kids, when you're not a mom, they become your school kids, but you don't truly understand what it means to nurture and care for those kids, and to think that some of those kids, what I'm giving my kids at home, may not be getting the same thing at their homes as my kids are. And I think that just kind of really changed my whole perspective on how to care for these babies once they enter my classroom every year.
And that's good that you were able to look back and evaluate a whole, as opposed to just kind of being narrow with your views. And if you can read back here, if you can see this, it says, if you see someone without a smile, give them one of yours. What do you do when they first come in this classroom to try to ensure that they have a smile on their face?
Just ask them how their night was, how you feel this morning. We're going to get it done today, right? It's a new day, and just love them. Just pat them on the back, smile like crazy. Go ahead and start as they're coming down that hallway. If I see that they've got that head down, I'll go ahead and start hollering, "Hey!"
That's so good.
"What's going on? Come see me."
I know,
So,
I love that.
yeah.
And you all like our cheerleaders. You're these kids' cheerleaders. They're motivators. You're those encouragers when they're away from home, and they need that. And that kind of really sets the environment, the tone of the environment that they're going to learn in.
I think so too. Because I mean, if they're going through a rough patch, you've got to get them in a place where they feel welcomed, where they feel loved, where they feel secure before you can do anything else. So
I love that. And this is the place and the space for them.
That's right.
You're going to teach them how to read, the love of reading.
That's right.
And nurture them to grow and to be successful young men and young women.
Right. And the very first thing we do in my class to start off our school year, we go ahead and set their goal. Where do you want to see yourself as a reader by the end of the school year? And so we kind of touch on that at every mid-9 weeks and every end of the 9 weeks, just to see how they're progressing along. And some of them, man, they shoot for the stars, and you hate to have to reel them back in a little bit, but you're like, okay, you know what? That's a great goal to have, but Miss Smith will be happy if you get to here. So we it's great to see what their aspirations are, because man.
But I love that they're shooting for the stars. I used to sing this song as a kid called High Hopes. High And so, but that's good. They've got to be able to have those high hopes and those aspirations, and you all are there to make sure that you reel them into where they need to be. So thank you so much for all that you do, okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Melissa Smith. We have made our way to East Lawrence High School to meet some of these great teachers here and let them share with you a little of their story. We've got two beauties with us here. Hi, girls. Hey. Good to see you both. Listen, we know that you guys have had a journey in education, and we kind of want to hear about it to see where you started and then where you are today. Are you ready, Mrs. Pope?
Sure.
Okay.
I've been teaching for 15 years, and I have taught kindergarten, 3rd grade, and high school, 9th through 12th. I have worked in Long County, Montgomery County, Lawrence County, and Chattahoochee County.
You have been around the world.
Yes, I have.
And you know, for you to have taught at such a young age, kindergarten, and then now here you are, you're in high school education. How have you adjusted as an educator to be able to excel in what you do now?
I really think that the elementary prepared me for high school, and I've had the opportunity to teach the ones in elementary and meet them again in high school. But my outlook is they're just taller.
Same person, little extended body. All right, Miss Anna, talk to us.
I have been teaching middle school and high school. This is my 18th year, I think going on my 19th. I have been in Lawrence County, Gwinnett, Bleckley County, and Emmanuel County.
Wow. You two have both been around the world. And you know, what have you learned throughout your years? Because I think that as an educator, you have to make adjustments when you first start out and then to where you are now. What ways have you changed to be better?
If you're in education, you've got to know you've got to be flexible and you've got to change with the time. One thing that hasn't changed is these kids all come to us wanting to be loved, needing to be loved, and needing to be uplifted. So no matter what changes, especially in the math or whatever we're in, that is the one thing that hasn't changed. So no matter what's going on, that is the thing that's sticking there. And that's just been the focus.
That's good. That's good. And we know we kind of interrupted your collaborative training here. That's why you all are so ultra casual here. So what are you all working on to get ready for this new year with the other teachers? What do you work on?
Well, currently we're working on aligning our geometry to the unit test.
And you know, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. No. And I'm working with foundations of algebra.
Very good.
Well, what we're doing is in previous years, we've looked at our standards, looked at our scores, see where we needed to improve. So now we're taking what we did last year, seeing where we were weak, what can we do to improve it. We're using our, Ms. Dean is our RTI, we're using a push-in method to where she's gonna come in and assist on top of our regular ed teachers and our special ed teachers to help in those areas of growth. So we're sitting down just collaborating and saying, okay, how can we use our resources within our teachers and make it a more effective curriculum for our students.
Thank you all so much, and the teamwork here. This teamwork definitely does make the dream work, and thank you for how you empower our students each and every day, and having seen them when they were young and now to see them now getting ready to transition, so some getting ready to come to high school, and some are getting ready their senior year, so you're going to have a whole gamut of ages and different people and how they learn. So thank you for all that you do. Anything else?
No.
Ready for the new year?
Yes, we are.
Anything?
We're ready to go.
All right, we're ready to go here at East Lawrence High School.
This is a 24-ounce, dry-aged porterhouse steak, a masterpiece, the sum of every delectable detail carefully considered. This is also a metaphor for your car. So when you don't put Toyo tires on your car, you're basically doing this. Your car deserves better.
Count on the best. Choose Lakes Alignment, located just off Central Drive at East Dublin. Call 272-4230. When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express, where you'll always find friendly, courteous service every time you visit us. Fill up with Pay at the Pump. Take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Enjoy our popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. And you can always enjoy a fresh hot breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So stop by and see us today, where it's always convenient and friendly. Neighbors Express, locations at I-16 at 441 and in Cedar Grove, where we provide farm fuel for all our customers. When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express.
We are here at East Lawrence Middle School meeting some of their teachers, and of course this one here to my left is definitely not a stranger to this camera, Mr. Paul Conyers. How are you?
I'm doing well, well.
Good to see you.
You as well.
Please remind us about your journey in education, okay?
Well, it was one that I didn't think was going to happen this way. I spent a lot of time doing drug and alcohol prevention through the mental health center, so it afforded me the opportunity to come into the schools, and through that I don't know if you can say a love, but I grew an understanding that I could affect some change this way. And so through some different avenues that popped up, I started out as a graduation coach, dealing with kids that were at risk for dropping out of school. And through that, I just gained a love that way. And I find myself teaching science. And I've enjoyed it. I found that it's probably one of the things that I didn't think would be my calling, but it has been. It has been, and I think it really, in order to be effective, I think it has to be a calling, and so I would even say a ministry to that degree.
I mean, you know, Mr. Conyers, I've seen when you walk into a room with those kids, they go crazy. It's like you're a rock star to them, you know. And how big a role model do you feel that you are when you're talking about looking at young black men and to see someone that looks like them in the field of education and how you're able to mentor them, not just as a teacher, but also as a coach. You see that with cross country and track. Tell us about that.
I think the biggest thing, and we speak on it a lot from a district level, is that we talk about relationships. It's very difficult for me to work with people, to teach people if I'm not able to foster that. And so that's the first thing. Like tomorrow, that's what we're going to go ahead and dig into. We're going to figure out who they are and what they like and what they don't like. And then I want them to know me too. A lot of times they get the understanding that teachers they think that we're just androids that's here for a check. So I want them to know we've got feelings and not to be cheesy about it, but that we care about things other than just their grades. More really, we care about their growth and development. And so for me, when I'm seeing them here, that's the beauty of working at a middle and high school. I get to see the growth. I get to see the change. So that's one of the things. I want them to understand that we're people that care about them. And I know it sounds like rhetoric, but that's the only way we really could affect some change here. So
that's right, and the best way for them to know that you care is for you to show that you care. And you know, you're an athlete in your own right, and now, of course, as a coach, tell us about your coaching style and the sport you'll be coaching this year.
Well, with cross country, I've coached basketball before, and it's different certainly in approach in regards to the disciplines that are involved. But I mean, it's the same thing. You try to teach them to be mindful from a sportsman standpoint, and then to compete, and to represent all these different factions that are supporting them, whether it's to their family, their churches, and then certainly in their schools, but to be that light that we want them to be, and to be well-rounded individuals. So for them, I'm just hoping that this is an opportunity for them to experience something that they'll take with them for the rest of their life, regardless of what the outcome is. And then just get better day by day, and that's really one of the biggest things we can hope as a coach. But I mean, I've loved it. I've loved being with them. I'm hoping they're loving being with us as well. So we'll start up probably in the next week or so.
Well, we're looking forward to it, of course. I mean, you're a mentor just by the example that you lead. And, of course, your lovely wife, Sheila, is one of our counselors here in the Lawrence County School System. So we're glad to have Team Conyers with us.
We're happy to be here. It's a benefit for both of us to be in the same district, really on the same school level. So it helps us, and our kids are students at West High School. So it's been a blessing for us to be here.
Wonderful. Well, it's a pleasure chatting with you as always. We are Team Conyers here all the way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is Paul Conyers, ladies and gentlemen, here at East Lawrence Middle School. I tell you, we're making our rounds here, and it has been a wonderful day. We're at East Lawrence Middle School. We've got a student with us that's going to share. Hi, darling.
Hi.
Good to see you. And the one that's been around, and she has influenced a lot of lives, Miss Tina Hester. Good to see you, Mrs. Hester.
Good to see you.
Now listen, the school day is about to start, and you guys have been planning quite a bit, and I know you've enjoyed a quite short summer, right? I want you to share with us about that. We'll start with you, Miss Hester. Share with us about your journey in education and in coaching, and where you are today, okay?
I am beginning my 29th year of teaching. I have 28.222 years behind me. So I have already went and met with the teacher retirement, and I have not made a decision quite yet, but I may be retiring at the end of this year.
Oh my Lord, to think that you started teaching at the age of 7.
Yeah, right.
And you know, when you're talking about that journey, when you first started, what have you learned about who you are as a person and how that's helped you in the classroom to teach the way that you do?
I didn't even know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, everything has changed so much, and I think I went in just trying to be a controller. You can't do that. You've got to make relationships.
Yeah.
And I have made some wonderful relationships over the years. Some of my students are some of my best friends now.
Right.
And so that just makes it all worthwhile. I enjoyed Open House Friday because I got to see so many former students.
Yes.
And I'm teaching now some of their children. And so it was just a great opportunity just to meet up again and see everybody. And
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at the lives that you've touched generationally. You know,
That
to
sounds
have
terrible.
I know, but look, to have an impact on someone's life, and then they come back with their children, and they're able to tell the stories of old, of Tina Hester, of what you've done for them. That's
It was
spectacular.
fun. It was fun.
That's good.
So-
All right, young lady, you've heard this pro right here, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now it's your turn. Please take your time and
taught
share
my
with us.
mama.
You taught her mama. Look at this right
And
here.
coached her.
And coached her. Here we go. We are family. All right, share with everybody, okay? Kind of share with us about you and your family, and talk about what you've been doing here at East Lawrence.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Allie Grace Johnson. I'm going into the 8th grade. My mom is Tori Powell. I'm involved in the news crew, the media arts, FFA, and junior beta, and I'm on the East Lawrence Middle School softball team.
I love it. You're a busy bee, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am.
And so now the summer was kind of short for you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you do anything exciting, anything worth sharing with the people of Dublin Lawrence County?
I went to the Atlanta Braves game. I went to the lake. I did a lot of family activities and church camp. I did go to church camp, and I went on a mission trip to Florida.
How cool is that? So you've had a pretty action-packed summer, and now it's time you're going to hit the ground running. What are you looking most forward to in your 8th grade year?
Most likely the experience. My teachers, I feel like they're going to be very fun and energetic, and they're always going to help me learn and put me on the right track.
Very good. Does this one help put you on the right track?
Always.
Always. And Miss Hester, when you see someone like her, where you know her mom, and to see her, to see how she's grown and how she's blossomed, what feeling does that give you as an educator and also as a person and friend?
I don't have children, you know. So, I mean, she's like my grandbaby, you know. So, yeah, I have a bunch of grandbabies around here. So that's the kind of feeling I have that she's family.
Wow. And when you know that an educator will treat you like you're her granddaughter, you already know she's got her hands on you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And so now you're going to be one of the news ladies, right, with the media and arts. So what do you feel about that?
Well, I do whatever, I try to be the best as I can at everything I'm involved in, and I hope that I meet up to the standards.
Okay. We're about to find out, aren't we?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, are you going to be in front of the camera?
Yes, ma'am, I will be in front of the camera.
You do know you're in front of the camera now, right?
I do.
How does it feel?
It's a little nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, it's all good.
It's all good. And you sound great. I wish you nothing but success this year. You're going to do well, and make sure you take your time and you learn. You soak all you need to get in, to kind of be a better person, and you're going to be just fine. Miss Hester, it's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. I thank you for how you poured into my children.
I enjoyed them.
And then, of course, the children that you see before you today.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful, wonderful day to get to meet some of the teachers and staff, and of course, a little student here, part of the East Lawrence family and Team Lawrence. We're looking forward to a great year. We wish everyone to have a successful year. Teachers, educators, administrators, and staff, we're all rooting for you. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the classroom.